Guys, something just happened, something that is going to lead into massive ramifications for the crypto and traditional markets. Today, guys, I am going to talk about exactly that. I am going to talk about altcoins. You're seeing huge things across the board here for altcoins. How far into the altcoin season are we? Well, if you look at this chart alone, it seems like we're pretty far into the altcoin season or getting close to an altcoin season. Well, today, guys, I'm going to talk about a lot of things. So if you are at all involved in the crypto space, make sure to stick around from the beginning until the end of this video. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you're new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. So let's get straight into it, guys. So what you can see here for Bitcoin on the daily time frame is that we continue to range in between the $52,300 level and all the way down to $50,700. So we've basically been ranging here on the daily time frame for at least 2 weeks at this point. So that is where we are right now. But if you look at this particular candle, you can see that we are trying to stay above this orange line right here. The previous candle, we managed to stay above it, and this is also supporting us right now. Now, if you look at the 4-hourly time frame, I did tell you yesterday that actually we also had a move in average strengthening. It is actually on the 4-hourly time frame. This orange line going across right here. You can see this one. Actually, maybe I should make this another color. So I will deal with that later. But this orange line, as you can see right here, is strengthening this overall area right here. So that is good to see. Bitcoin is still at a very healthy point, in my opinion. And yeah, we're waiting for the next decisive move, which I think is going to be to the upside, barring a massive disaster from the traditional markets. Now, traditional markets, this is interesting because the futures market opened up yesterday evening. And since then, we went sideways. So exactly sideways here. And when the markets opens up today, later on today, you are going to probably have some kind of move here, and that is also going to spill over to Bitcoin. So be prepared for that. Now, why have we seen a massive shift in the markets? Well, if you look at what the market is expecting here, you can see that for the next meeting, which is actually the 20th of March, the market is expecting no rate cut. But if you look at the 18th of December, so basically towards the end of this year, the market believes that we are going to be at 4.75% in the Fed rate. So that is about 0.75% below where we are right now. So basically the market right now is expecting 3 rate cuts towards the end of this year, 3 rate cuts of 25 basis points each. Now, why is this huge? If you just go back to like last month or 2 months ago, the market was expecting 7 rate cuts of 0.25 basis points or 25 basis points. So the market has lowered their expectations, which is absolutely fantastic, because if the market expects, if they have a pessimistic outlook, then when the rate cuts finally comes, then that could have more pumps towards the upside. So because the market is positively surprised. But if they're expecting a lot of rate cuts, well, if you do not see them, then you have the markets most likely underperforming. So this is huge, and this is going to be huge the longer we go throughout this year, guys. As the market has lower expectations, the market continues to pump here, and with those low and pessimistic expectations, that gives us more fuel for some massive upside. Now, for Ethereum in particular, you can see that Ethereum had a nice pump here. We pumped finally above the orange line at $3,000. So we got all the way up to 3,100. So that is absolutely fantastic for Ethereum as well. Continues to do well. And also, let me show you this before we start talking about altcoins. So basically, since the merge of Ethereum 2.0, you can see that we have burned 370,000 Ethereum. So Ethereum is right now deflationary, and this is huge. It's taken supply out from the market. Now, if you compare that to how Ethereum usually was, we would have had a $5.5 million influx. So instead of 5.5 million Ethereum added into the supply, we have minus 369,000 Ethereum burned off of the supply. So Ethereum is still a good play for this cycle, I believe. I think Ethereum is still going to do well, especially if we do see the ETF being approved, which I think is going to, maybe it's not going to happen in May, maybe it is going to happen in May, but I think eventually it is going to happen either way as the Bitcoin ETF continues to see more adoption, as it continues to be a massive success. BlackRock and these guys, they will definitely want to launch this Ethereum ETF as well to earn even more money. Guys, we are still early in crypto, and this is why this cycle, I think, is most likely going to be one of the most explosive ones, because you have so many instruments, you have the institutions on board, and we are able to front run all of that. We are able to buy, hopefully you bought already 1 year ago, hopefully you bought 6 months ago, but even at this point, we are still here before the masses comes into crypto, which is fantastic. So we're keeping our eyes on all of that, guys. Now, before I continue and talk about altcoins, if you're interested in altcoins at all, then make sure to stick around. But first, if you want to trade on the best exchanges out there, we do have massive bonuses right here. So up to $60,000 on OKX by clicking on this link. Click join now, so take advantage of that as soon as possible. And on BitGet as well, up to $8,400 by clicking on this link right here. Take advantage of that as well if you're not able to use OKX. So now let's continue and talk about altcoins. And the altcoins that I have on my watch list here, the altcoins that I am supporting, have been on an absolute rampage here recently. Now, first, let's talk about altcoins in general and where we are. So if you look at the altcoin season index, for those of you guys that remember 2020, 2021, I was using this a lot, you can see that the altcoin index is approaching some levels in which we typically see altcoin rallies go up heavily, like towards the end of the altcoin season. But if you zoom out here, you can see still that we have, even though it looks very close to a top here, so usually we top out at like 96, 97. So you can see it here also in 2021, we topped out here, 2022, and you saw massive altcoin runs as well, we topped out in this range. But even though we are at 65 now on the index, it's still pretty far. Even though it looks very close, it is still pretty far from that 90, because the last part of the altcoin rallies are the most explosive ones. And also if you go to the yearly index, you can see that over the year, we are still nowhere close to a peak in the altcoin rallies. So we are still very far from the peaks you saw in 2018, you saw in 2020, in 2021, and even 2022. So basically, the last few years, apart from 2023, we didn't have it, but in 20, 21, 22, you had altcoin peaks in all of these years when you saw explosive growth on the yearly. So why do I reference this as the yearly? Basically, it means how many of the altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin over the last year, and not many altcoins have done that. You can see, wait, is that the yearly? Let's see. So yeah, you can, okay, there's some, this is glitching out, but you can see that Bitcoin has had it before. Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's try this. So Bitcoin, as you can see, has had a performance of 114%, and many of the altcoins in the top 50 has had a performance that is not as good. Yes, you have Kaspa, which has done like crazy 1,700%, Injective, RNDR. You have some altcoins that have outperformed Bitcoin, but in general, Bitcoin has outperformed the rest of the altcoins. And this is typically what you see at the start of a massive altcoin run, okay? This is typically what you see because the money from Bitcoin then starts to flood into the smaller altcoins, and altcoins pumps crazily. Now, of course, because of the ETF narrative, Bitcoin has outperformed, but I do think it's only a matter of time until even more money from Bitcoin floods into altcoins, and that is going to be absolutely glorious. So what does it mean for our altcoins in particular? Let's go through them one by one. First, I said on a couple of days ago, 24th, that I have added massive positions to my Beam and Forgotten Playlands bags. Also, I made a video yesterday talking about this. I think it is time for the next leg up. Now, this got a lot of attention. Why? Because I made a similar tweet about 2 weeks ago, the 9th of February, when I said that I was putting 100k into Koti and 50k into Uncaged, and these ones went up crazily, several 100%. Now, if we go to these coins in particular, since the 24th of February, what has Forgotten Playlands in particular done? Because Forgotten Playlands is the one I think is going to have more explosive growth, although Beam is like a long-term play. But more explosive growth in Forgotten Playlands. So since the 24th, when I posted this tweet, let's go and watch this. So this is where I posted it, the 24th. And since then, Forgotten Playlands has gone up by 78%. So at this point, you can more or less, like, if you want to, you could even take out your initial right now. I am not doing that because I think that Forgotten Playlands, this is an easy 10, 20x play if this bull market continues, which I do think is going to do. So granted the bull market continues, this is, in my opinion, easily going to do another 10 and 20x. So I am not selling any single token at this very moment. But even this week and the next week, I do think that Forgotten Playlands and Beam is going to do really, really well. So from this point, you have already, from this tweet, you have already made crazy amounts of profits, which is fantastic. Beam is a little bit slower. It's not been going up crazily yet, but I do think it's only a matter of time. Now, if we go back here to some of the altcoins that we're watching, Koti continues to do well. It is at almost 22 cents. So started talking about this, was it like at 0.4 cents? So it's also done a couple of 100%. You have CDFI has been doing well as well, reaching almost $4 right now. DGI Game, this was like a smaller market cap altcoin, as you know, which I started talking about a few weeks ago as well. I think it was at $4 million in market cap. So it has already done also like a 400%. In fact, if we go to DGI, you can see it right here. So since I started talking about it, let's see where it went up by 200% approximately. So all of the altcoins that we are covering here and we're watching have all been doing really, really well. So that is absolutely fantastic. And right now people are asking me for the next altcoins that I am going to be buying and which altcoins I'm going to be adding here to my list in which I'm following. As you know, guys, I am not like other people that adds like 20, 30, 50 different altcoins. If I add altcoins here, it is because I believe in them. I am very selective. It is if I go to an event and I hear some guy saying something about something coming up, like only if I have some kind of alpha that I think is going to lead into positive price action, that is the only reason. If the chart looks really, really good or stuff like that. Granted, there has to be a very good reason for me to add my altcoins to this list here. For me to be accumulating altcoins, it has to be a good reason for that. This is why I think that my altcoins are going to continue to perform pretty well, but I'm going to be wrong as well. And I could be wrong on some of these altcoins, although we already are able to take out initials on all of these ones and let the rest ride as profits for the rest of the cycle. I'm going to be wrong on some altcoins. Some altcoins are going to go down to absolutely zero, but some altcoins are going to do 10, 20, 50, 100x as well. So it's all about perspective. Always do your own research, but I will continue to talk about which altcoins I'm getting in here. And yeah, just like you can see, even since my video yesterday, Forgotten Playland is up 43%. And from my initial tweet here, it is up, what did you say? It was up like 80% or something. So all good so far, guys. I will continue to talk more about altcoins during this cycle because that is where you're able to make the most amount of money. Guys, this is what I got for you. Thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you in the next one.